but I want to hear about your Saturn Return experience.
Okay. All right. I'll try to keep it simple. When I believe I was 27, and I was doing this job. I thought it was my dream job because it mixed in all the things that I loved. I loved filming. I loved dancing. I loved watching dancers dance. And I was a videographer for this huge company that we went around the country filming ballroom and Latin dancing. And I got to work with all these different people, Dancing with the Stars, different people that of the dance industry. And it was amazing. I was like, I found my place. But then our company started to kind of go under a little bit. And then we got this new manager who was horrible. And he was like really putting us under the microscope. And then my boss hired all these 18, 19-year-old boys who didn't know how to work a camera just because he wanted to cut costs.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't care who you are, listener. You know who you are. So anyway, I started to notice all the girls that were my age getting paid real well. We were slowly, one by one, getting fired. Yeah. For no real reason. Yeah. So then I had this job that I was supposed to take in Nashville for about 2 weeks. It was some dance festival. And I was going to get paid like 3 times the rent that I was paying at the time. So I was like, oh, great. Rent for 3 months is paid. Then I get a phone call saying, you're not going. And I had been working on my voiceover stuff, like kind of, when I could. And I didn't know what path I was going to take. And I was being tested. Like, when I got that call, my anger was being tested. I was like, oh. And my inner voice was like, you don't need this. You don't need this. So I was like, okay, well, thanks. Bye. And I quit. I just quit there. I didn't even write a letter. I kind of ghosted them. Yeah. And then I just kind of followed my voiceover path. I started taking more classes. I was doing more audiobooks. I was doing more little itty bitty commercials here and there. I was kind of adding up, doing the work. And then this one summer, I made, I believe, between $12,000 and $15,000. It was my big summer of I was in a video game. I did my first national commercial, and it was during the
exploded.
During the VMAs. I was like, oh my God. But before that, though, I was job hunting and being tested like bonkers. I was scammed a few times trying to get jobs, but I had to listen to that inner voice
and keep doing the work and trusting yourself.
Exactly. So that was my Saturn Return story, and I made it, and I'm still doing things I love today.
That's amazing. So kind of similar. I mean, we kind of had similar ones, which is interesting. Both Saturn and Capricorn, about doing the work of the actual work, what kind of work are you doing in your life? About our job and what we want to do in this world. But for you, it was interesting. It was more external. You had an external thing happen to you where it was they basically were well, you're not doing this job. And it was kind of oh, okay. But it showed you that this wasn't going to work for you.
I know.
And then you had to make a different path. And so it's interesting. Some people's are external, something happens to them and they're like, whoa, what is that? And then other people, it's more internal, and probably it was a little bit of both for you too.
I think it was both, because I
felt it too.
Observed. I'm a very keen observer of people, and especially in work situations. And I kind of knew there was something falling apart behind the scenes, and I wasn't going to go down with it.
So you knew, you intuitively knew.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. There you go.
This and that's Leo is not going down with the ship. And I'm following my heart.
I love that. And that's the point of Saturn is kind of, I don't need all this other stuff. I want this other path, and then I'm going to do the work to get there. So, and it seems like you've done the work, and now you're getting to where you want to be. You're doing the things you love.
Oh, for sure. And I'm much happier. You know? Sometimes it doesn't matter how much money you make, as long as you're happy and you feel fulfilled. That's important.
I love that.
You got to survive your Saturn return.
Whew, yes.